We go now to Tom Hiney, a Catholic author and journalist based in Devon, England. Tom, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks,
it has been more than 24 hours after Queen Elizabeth's death was announced. What is the mood in the country now, and how are people reacting?
Well, there seems to be genuine grief. You're always sort of watching over your back and seeing, do they really mean it? When the news presenters look solemn, but you can kind of tell these days when people do mean it. There's a sort of lump in the throat. It's a genuinely significant moment. There's a bit of trepidation because she was a genuinely good person. And there seems to be sort of uncertainty about sort of what we're going to do without this incredible moral compass that ruled over us. There's a lot of chaos and uncertainty about our identity as a nation, and she embodied it somehow. But personally speaking, I'm just very proud of her, and I think a lot of people, especially a lot of the Christian community in the UK, are just very proud of her. She was a good Christian woman.
She was indeed. And I understand, Tom, there'll be 10 days of mourning in the United Kingdom. What can you tell us about what will be taking place during this time? I know a special service was held at St. Paul's Cathedral earlier today.
There was, and for an increasingly secular country, it's amazing how at these big moments, suddenly we switch to religion. When death happens, whether it's during war or any kind of calamity, really, even during the COVID to an extent, suddenly, just as the images of the Pope sort of were shown around the world during COVID, the other voice certainly here was that of the Queen. And I think with the mourning, it's not really going to affect sort of most people, to be honest. There will be people wearing dark colors. There'll be sort of a somber sort of like tone set in the media and in government. But a lot of people are going to want to see the body of the Queen when it's lain in state. It's going to dominate everyone's thoughts and the news. I read just earlier that 200,000 people visited the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth's mother, when she lay in state. So goodness knows how many people are going to want to do that. There are going to be more sort of very moving scenes, I think, over the next few days.
Tom, we have about a minute or so left. I do quickly want to talk a little bit more about the Queen's Christian faith. And I understand that you attended a church service a few years ago where she was in attendance, and it really left quite an impression on you. Can you quickly talk to us about that?
Yeah, I read a lesson, and obviously I didn't sort of look at her whilst I was reading, but I was aware that she was there. But then as she processed out of the church before any of the rest of us, as she walked past me, she looked me in the eyes, and it was a look I'll never forget. The church was full of big army types who'd been to war, but the moment she walked into the church, they all braced up. They all totally respected her. And in that moment, I saw someone there was a touch of God about her, to be completely honest.
Well, Tom, thank you so much for that. And please stand by, because we want to talk to you coming up a little bit later about your new book and your own faith in just a few minutes. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tracy.